All right, welcome everyone. Today's video is going to be doing some just general BFS trout fishing, but also it's going to be talking about a new lure I've been using this year. It's the Jackson Meteora. It's a 45 millimeter, 3.5 gram trout minnow. So it's not your biggest trout minnow, but it does catch fish, and there are a lot of unique properties that I'll go over in this video. So if you want to see that and just watch some just general BFS trout fishing, make sure you keep watching. Also comment down below what else you want to see. All right, so one of the big things for the Meteora is that it's a flat-sided minnow. A lot of times your flat-sided minnows, they're gonna have a tighter wobble to them, and that's true with this minnow too. And how the weight distribution is, even though this is only 3.5 grams, this faster current like this, and even faster than this, the Meteora comes through really tight wobble. It doesn't get pushed around a lot by the current. Sometimes if you have smaller trout minnows like I'm using here, sometimes your line can get pushed down the stream, or the lure gets pushed down the stream. You can't really fish it where you want to. I haven't really noticed any of that happening with the Meteora. And with twitching, the twitching action, I could twitch and I can get good feedback coming downstream like this. Or if the fish aren't as active, you can still come through, and it has nice action even on a steady retrieve. If I just do a steady retrieve like this, it's a pretty tight wobble, and that side-to-side flash will still bring fish in, but it's not gonna scare a fish off. Is that a brook trout? Oh, come on, come on. Oh, nice brown trout. Ready? Zoom out now, huh? No, that fish came right out. It was a little bit deeper. It was on a pause too. I kind of did a little flutter, that lure flutter. I let it pause, and that's when I felt the line. I saw the line move a little bit, and that's why I use that either bright orange or green line, so I can see on that slack line with the current. Sometimes you're not always going to feel it, and luckily I saw the lure and I saw the line tighten up right there. Oh, hopefully we can get more of them. Looks like a really good spot that's up around this corner. And one thing that's really important to working trout lures, or just in general, it doesn't have to be a trout minnow, is having a fast gear ratio. So you're not going to need the power of a lower gear ratio. Like this is the Shimano Aldebaran. This has an 8.9 to 1 gear ratio, and it's been one of my favorite BFS reels. I got this from Digitaka right when it was released, and I've used it a little bit for trout fishing. I wish I would have used it a little bit more earlier in the season. But the speed is really nice. I'm able to pick up slack line, especially if I'm fishing from downstream, casting upstream. I'm able to pick up the slack line, like that fish that I caught back there. That was something I kind of was thinking in my head, was that a key contributor. I was able to see that my line moved, and I was able to take up that slack line really fast, just like two turns of the handle, and able to set the hook. See, instead of me having to switch lures, let's say if I'm fishing this area and there's probably fish in here, maybe they've already been caught, or whatever, but I don't have to switch lures as frequently to fish subtle, slow water, fast water. I can do a lot of that with the same minnow. I can work it slower over there, kind of let it shimmy. I can twitch really hard in the current, and I can work it a little slower over here, all in the same cast. Or if I want to work it fast, I just pitch away back there. I can switch it really fast to try to get a reaction strike out of them. A lot of times, even if the trout aren't hungry, if they're sitting in a prime position, like a feeding area, and there's another fish that comes in there, they'll attack that fish just to get them out of that prime feeding area. And sometimes that's why the fish are actually hitting your lure. They're not just because they're hungry. All right, so the Jackson Meteora, for me, the biggest benefit has been having a small profile, yet I can still come through this heavy current very well. Some areas were you know, deeper, slower pools and that horizontal shimmy, and I was able to twitch the lure and be able to work those areas efficiently, and also still be able to cast the same lure and be able to come through heavy current as well. So the versatility is really good, and also that small compact package allowed me to be able to fish areas that have brook trout in them. I used this in a smaller creek a few different times, and the brook trout actually, I saw them commit to it a lot more than I would if I was using a little bit bigger minnow. So that's something that I really do like. This I should have mentioned, I have number 10 owner. They're the SBL 35 single hooks. It's a number 10, like I said. And this lure and also the hooks, they're going to be available at baitfinessempire.com pretty shortly. And also, if you're outside the United States, you know, just do a Google search, Jackson Meteora 45, and you'll be able to come across it pretty easily.